3:38 on Sunday, March 8th. Pretty sure it's the 8th. Alright. I'm still learning how to use the new tablet. My name is Dylan H. Randolph, and this is kind of behind the scenes footage, I guess, for the documentary that I fully intend to put together at this point. 3:38 on Sunday, March 8th, 2026. So, in January of 2019, I officially became disabled according to the United States federal government. I'm a disabled mental health care worker. Yeah, there's a reason I stop and do little obnoxious things like that. That's my brain trying to, organize itself. Do not misinterpret the tone of my voice as condescending, please. I'm thinking. I'm not trying to insult your intelligence with the tone of my voice. I'm thinking. I am an autistic adult. I was born on March 11th, 1980. My name at birth was Diana Lynn Randolph, child of Janice Hutt Randolph and Harold James Randolph. Accessing information, it's complicated. I am an autistic adult. I have communication difficulties. I have been trying for years. Documented with the police for years. Trying to recover from the nervous breakdown that I had in January. Officially became disabled January 2019. I was disabled well before that. I refused to stop going to work. I tried to kill myself in November of 2017. I was disabled before that. Took a leave of absence from school. I think that was spring of 2013. I was disabled at that point. At the point that I could no longer handle my job and school and my home life. At the point where I had to take a semester off from school. That is the point where I was disabled. I could no longer perform the functions that I had been performing capably up to that point. Dean's List every semester. 2012 is the point where I became disabled, in my own opinion. I managed to force myself to continue working. I had just started the residential program job. I had just started working in Resi. And that was my only job at the time. I'd had a ton of life changes right then. Because that was the point where Osei started deciding they were going to push me out. I had a big tantrum. It wasn't a big tantrum. I didn't flip out and yell at them. I just very calmly was like, Elizabeth, you have known full well that I have been late every single day. The entire time that you've worked with me. Why are you doing this now? I was like, Elizabeth, I have been a manager, and now you're starting the paper trail. Let's be honest here. In front of the regional manager. I was like, yeah, no. You have known. And I left that meeting, and I had I had all kinds of art, and I'd been there for a while. I actually decorated my desk. I had art and pictures my ex-wife had drawn of our video game characters. I had my wedding pictures. It was, I went and I just packed it all up. Didn't say anything to my coworkers, just packed it all up and sat down. Didn't say anything to anybody about anything. Came back to work the next day. It was very clear. I was like, no, I know. They've decided to get rid of me. They were nice about it though. They started the process, and I basically was like, yep, nope, I'm prepared to walk out the door. Got a job at Bridge Over Troubled Waters, working in the shelter from something else that I had done in that office. It was the second year I worked for Talks in Peabody. Uh, oh, so right, there are reasons I wasn't allowed to speak at my own mother's funeral. This is my memoirs. I dissociate and tell my own life story and let myself have flashbacks, and then other people see me acting erratically. They lock me in buildings, re-traumatize me, tell me it's for my own good, force injections on me I keep telling them I don't want because I'm afraid of the needles. They want me to be quiet and then put me in situations where I'm sorry, it's torture. And you expect me not to scream. Like sitting still in an empty room with bare white walls, nothing but a toilet and a sink and a mirror above my head that I cannot look in. They expect me to just sit there and be quiet while I am being psychologically tortured because I was recording videos to be transcribed to publish as a book called There Are Reasons I Wasn't Allowed to Speak at My Own Mother's Funeral. Dylan and the Bad Influence Kids is the name of a TV show I started talking about wanting to make when I was crazy in San Diego. I actually said out loud to a police officer, two of them, in Harvard Square, Cambridge, Massachusetts, in November of 2024, when I was sleeping at the coop because I wasn't allowed to go home, that we are choreographing the dance sequence right now. Said that to her, the female officer. We are choreographing the dance sequence right now. Something to that meaning. I don't know if it was those precise words. And she said, that's so cool. And he put both fists up in the air and turned and walked away from me. I didn't tell him to do that. He put both fists in the air like a V for victory and walked away from me. After I said out loud, we are choreographing a dance sequence about me and interacting safely with the police. That's just either a thing that actually happened the night that I sat there and talked to the rats that live in the flower box right outside the coop. Maybe I hallucinated the rats entirely. There's certainly no rats in Cambridge that a crazy, lonely guy who's constantly talking about how he is lonely and crazy. There's no way that guy possibly talked to the rats, right? And like logically speaking, there's no logical reason the police would have spoken to that man who was sleeping on the ground in Harvard Square. And it just makes absolutely no logical sense that man who keeps posting videos to the internet about how he's making videos about wanting to protect the police from the mentally ill by training them on how to not scare the shit out of us so we don't attack you. Like, they're afraid of getting shot, so they shoot first. Teach them how to not make us so scary, because it's the mirror neuron thing. I keep talking about these concepts over and over because I worked for a company called Elliott Community Human Services. Immediately after I left the place talks that I was just being angry at my boss about, Muhammad Ali was someone people liked to interview. You don't know everything I know, so what comes out of my mouth doesn't make sense to you. Like, to think your ignorance should condemn me to jail? Show me any evidence of actual violence done by me. The entire point of my online presence is to talk about how I prevent that from happening. I have this whole story about how the first night before I worked for Elliot or whatever, I was offered the job because it wasn't the first couple of times, like the health and human services, I didn't have this thought. Working for Bridge, I didn't have this thought. It was at the start of working for Elliott Community Human Services when they explained to me that no, you'll actually have to be taking children into schools, that it occurred to me, who do I want to be if there's an active shooter situation at a school at this stage in my life? And I started to unravel because I very openly told people as a child that I wanted to be the leader of the shooters. And kids would come to me for advice. I was the loud kid for a reason, willing to say all manner of horrific, just like, I apologize to everyone that I went to high school with, but someone had to. Like, I would literally stand at the front of the school, goose stepping, and like Nazi saluting and yelling Sieg Heil and white power at the American flag in front of Braintree High. Because that is the kind of edgy performance art I have always done in protest of the racial discrimination I and others are enduring. I did that in front of crowds of people, white and black. And you know who never got punched in the face once for that? I hung out with the white supremacists. And I hung out with people who were definitely not white supremacists. I have always been the bridge between so many culture gaps. And when my communication abilities broke down, like severely broke down in May of 2019, I voluntarily admitted myself to a hospital and like insisted that they do an MRI on my brain. because my communication difficulties became so severe I could not speak English coherently. The only language, the one I'm really intensely coherent in, like I'm the most eloquent person most people will ever speak to face, that I meet. Just based on what I've been told by other people. I, for about a month, just couldn't consistently make coherent English that was what I meant to say come out of my mouth until I started learning some American Sign Language and it just got better. I've been talking repeatedly in the videos where I'm not acting about how I'm processing my own emotions and getting those ugly feelings out by making the recordings. Like there's this rumor in Hollywood about how like Heath Ledger, like playing Joker, just drove him insane because he was like a good guy in real life and like just having to like learn how to be that person. I can believe that something like that, if he was just a decent guy, can believe that would have shattered his psyche, and if he already had drug problems he might have killed himself about it. I have absolutely no idea how the man actually died, but knowing what I know about my own existence and what I've studied about other people via like, I literally have a master's degree in human psychology. I studied human psychology to the master's degree level. I graduated with high honors from a master's degree program in human psychology. I specifically studied counseling psychology so that I could help teach other people how to not smash their tablet. I don't have a tripod or anything. I'm just holding that because I just stay still. Sit down and shut down. Line up and shut up. Yeah. Sit down, pipe down, line up, shut up. Sit still, sit still, sit still. I just learned how to do that up to the point where I'm at this point I'm pretty sure it's my blood pressure spikes so high that I black out. That's based on all of the information that I know that I'm not gonna fucking try to cite sources on right now. Based on what I know about my own physiology and my own internal experience and what I have read about other people's reported experiences in both anecdotes and the results of scientific study. I'm pretty sure it's holding back the rage until my blood pressure spikes so high that I black out and my body goes into defensive mode, and I do not know. That's why I'm paranoid and don't like being cornered. I do not know what might happen, and I don't want anyone to get hurt. Am I sincere? I am afraid I could hurt someone in the wrong circumstances and being surrounded by people carrying guns, trying to exert their will upon me. That is a threatening situation. I'm concerned my natural animal instincts might kick in. Are you aware that you're touching your gun right now? Because it just makes me a little nervous. Thank you. No, yeah, your hand's up there. That's not threatening at all. I get nervous when people touch their guns. It's not a big deal. I have been accommodating their emotional regulation needs on purpose, and then figured out how to delicately impart that, and then also told them to talk to their supervisors about the conversations I asked them to record on their body cams. Because, training video, 20 minutes.